All right. Anyone watching the VOD, just getting everything sent out to Discord and getting the stream fired up. So that is what you're seeing right now. And we figured out 1080p. So that's good that we did that because honestly, that was really fucking bothering me that that wasn't working. Hey Mio, how you doing? Good to see you again. What time zone are you? Like, where are you watching from, Mio? Yeah. You've been up all night or fucking Jesus, it's probably isn't it like 6 right now your time? All right. More for some of the few of you that are in here at the moment. We have some crafting projects. So this is still a project because I want to improve it. These are projects that I want to work on. This one, not so much. I just kind of put it in here because it has T10 fire. Almost 7 o'clock. Yeah. Hey, I was pretty close. All right, off the top of my head, I was pretty close with the timing. But I'm going to be going over kind of what we're looking for in a staff for our build specifically, or monks in general that are using quarterstaffs, or just anyone that's using a quarterstaff, like what people are most likely looking for the most part. We're also going to go over just like crafting goals in general when you are trying to be crafting stuff. That is, once we get to kind of the crafting section of things. Right now, I want to prep some more maps. So I'm going to be doing that. Um, Probably going to see some more Arbiter tonight. And right now we've got around 87 divs to play with. So the more you all know. What did I have in Falling Thunder? Right. I was messing around with ambush to test something. What is a bullshit support that I can put into charge staff? Yeah, we could do perpetual charge. That probably doesn't suck. Yeah, we'll do perpetual charge. I think I have it in gear sets, right? Or do I not? Skills, perpetual charge. Because fire exposure on charge staff, it just like feels like it never applies. So because of that, I just don't like using it. Hey, Elwarn, I really appreciate it, man. Yeah, a Falling Thunder is just kind of fun. Oh, dropped a Sacred Flame, sold for 30 div. That's awesome, Mio. Yeah, I really like Falling Thunder. It's a lot of fun. What the fuck? There. Because even if you don't have like charges, it still does decent damage when you're just using it regular. Because you want to be using your charges on Flicker Strike anyway. But when you do have like one or two charges, it just feels really nice when you're using Falling Thunder. Yeah, it does. I mean, the thing with this build is you can really use any skill that you want. My preferred is obviously Flicker, because my channel is mostly about Flicker Strike. And I think it's the best on Flicker Strike. But Falling Thunder is very satisfying. And for packs like this, it's perfect, because I don't want to flicker that and just singularly flicker. It's nice to just be able to space jam them, you know? Come on and slam. Welcome to the jam. Not really, don't drop anything. It's weird. Nah, Jaleel. If you're talking about the newest videos and 2 days ago, there's nothing really that changed. And if I do change anything, it's just, it'll be pretty insignificant. So at this point, the build is like pretty optimized. I want to say that there's too much that you have to worry about, like trying to catch back up to. I tried to not make the changes too drastic in general, but when I find stuff that's better, I gotta include it, right? Hey, Fishy, good to see you. I can. They're probably gonna nerf my baby next patch, dude. There's no way Flicker survives next patch, in my opinion. So I can wait as long as possible. Hey, Mr. Durfee. I'm glad you like it.
Map.
H is. Are you talking about H next patch? Oh, like Breach and the Strongbox updates and all that kind of stuff. That's what you're talking about? Yeah, that update will be cool. I thought you meant like the next big patch. I was like, we can wait, brother. We can wait. No, that's like it won't work a Wistful Nihilist just because Cast on Shock gains a lot less energy than Cast on Freeze. So it doesn't work in the reverse. But I have slotted in and tried Freezing Mark instead of Voltaic Mark just to change what the flavor looks like. Um, and it works, but like Voltaic Mark just has a lot more MTX and it just looks a lot more badass. It's not that Freezing Mark doesn't work, but you also have to put Lightning Infusion into Freezing Mark, so it's not as wide of an AoE in order for Freezing Mark to pop Herald of Thunder. Yeah. I did make an announcement in the Discord. I don't know if you guys follow the Discord, but if you're interested in something like this, I am thinking about putting together a private league. It'll probably be funded and built through memberships on YouTube. So it's not, you don't have to pay to get into the league or anything like that. But if you do decide to become a channel member when I set that up, it would just help fund a kind of in house league when the economy of the current point two gets super stale and people just want a fresh experience until they actually release point three for Path of Exile 2. Um, I'm definitely wanting to do something like that. Yeah, if you run both Mio, it's still good for that purpose. But with this build, we don't have a spot for Herald of Ice in most cases. Hey Ryan, there's the one div guide for you to follow. On the max roll guide, there's a level 75 passive tree that I recommend starting with. If you look on max roll and you click into the passive tree itself, there'll be 3 passive trees. One is energy shield based character at the end game. One is evasion based character at the end game. And then there's a level 75 one. I know level 75 isn't straight into maps, but a lot of the same concepts are there. One of the things that I will probably make a short on is using this ring, Call of the Brotherhood. This will get you freezing everything very quickly, and then all you have to do is put lightning infusion into voltaic mark, and this can get you started. So your 3 uniques that you're looking for to start with your flicker strike is Collapsing Horizon, Aziri's Acuity, and Call the Brotherhood. Those 3 uniques should get the build rolling on its own. Like 1 or 2 divs, Sweaty. I don't think that you need more than that to have it start feeling good. Like, I'm very confident. Like, the only thing, like, the reason why I say 1 to 2 divs rather than even less than 1 div is because 1 div gets you this item, this item, this item, and probably like a spirit amulet and some cold damage rings. I even have the ones that I was using for that video. I got this for 5 exalts. I got this for like 10 exalts. I got this for 20 exalts. You can buy a Collapsing Horizon for like 10 exalts. You can buy a cheap Aziri's for like 20 exalts probably. And you can buy a Call of the Brotherhood for like 5 exalts. So, you know, kind of put all of those things together. It's still like well under a div. The rest of your investment is really just going to be into defenses elsewhere. So your belt, your chest, your boots, your helmet, those are going to be where you're getting most of your defenses, and that's where the rest of the build cost becomes. Like getting it killing pinnacles, I would say that you would want to be investing more, but killing like you can kill all pinnacle content with this on the lowest difficulty with a Collapsing Horizon and like less than 5 divine investment. Thanks, Ryan. I'm happy to hear it. When you transition out of the unique quarterstaff, you know, this is a hard question because it's hard for me, right? Like, I discovered the unique quarterstaff working really well for this build when I already had a quarterstaff that was working well for the build. So I don't know. And like in all of my testing, it's hard to test because I have to like forcibly take things out and I don't have budget stuff available to test it. So it's hard for me to know like at what point is a rare staff verifiably better than Collapsing Horizon. It's pretty easy to tell when a rare staff is better on bosses, but like to consistently still get the booms and stuff, it's hard. Like I could see a world where a lot of players don't replace Collapsing Horizon in maps just because it's so amazing quality of life. Like how often you're getting the booms. So that's a big reason why I love this unique so much is because it really does like you can pick this unique up and use it for maps the rest of the game. You never have to replace it if you're mapping. Even if you're doing like the top tier content, you don't ever have to replace this staff in maps. The only time you have to replace the staff is if you're doing like tier 4 pinnacles. I'm pretty confident that this can do tier 3 pinnacles, but probably not like tier 4 Arbiter or tier 4 Zesht. I know it did tier 4 King of the Mists in one shot, but as far as like the rare, I would say it'd probably be a pretty expensive staff. Like 7 melee levels, 14% crit, at least 300 DPS on the staff itself. There's a lot of things that you need on the rare staff to really get it rolling. And it's even more about it's less about the staff and more about the rings and the against the darkness 4% damage is extra cold. Combat you could try. You don't need uniques for this to work. I think its Series Acuity is probably one of okay, I lied. You want instant leech. So if you can find yourself at Series Acuity, then yes, solo self found viable. But otherwise, like anointing amulets, the only anoint that gives you instant leech is Voracious, and it's very expensive and like super rare anoints. So unless you know how to like target farm the delirious emotions, then I think it would be pretty difficult in solo self found. But if you ever pick up a pair of these gloves, then the build is ready to go. Which I think these are pretty chanceable. I don't remember the base, but I know they're chanceable, and it's pretty easy to chance these. They're not like super rare. It's not as simple as looking at tooltip DPS, no. Because I've tested from like a 40k tooltip staff when my collapsing horizon was like 17k. I've looked at 30, 40, 50k, and like there's some staffs that have a lot less tooltip that are popping just as good as collapsing horizon, and others that aren't and have way bigger tooltip. It's a good map. I did clear Simulacrum Hummus. To clear Simulacrum, I basically just use Stormwave because you don't. I would gather power charges at the start of every round so that I have full power charges, and then I would Stormwave the whole time. And then when I did have skeletons up, I'd get power charges when it was safe so that I could flicker or falling thunder the bosses when they spawned. But the build has no problem in delirious maps. It's just not very good in Simulacrum because you can't generate corpses in Simulacrum. You know what? I need to take this out. I hate Augury, but this is a corruption map I want to clear so that I can farm for fracturing orbs. Oh. Yeah, Jermaine, I think that sounds like a great idea. I've got lots of cool ideas that could help inspire you, but um before I like 100% commit to like running the private league, I want to make sure we get at least like 50 people that are at least interested in starting. If 50 people don't want to do it, like 50 people are not actively playing, that's fine. I just don't want, like right now we've got like 12 committed. I'll make some more announcements and spread the word out a little bit wider. But I really want to have at least 50 people. So invite your friends. Let them know that I'm wanting to put together a private league for in between point 2 and point 3. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. We can all help each other with builds, share some loot. It'll be a lot of fun. Is Anointing Storm Charged better? So I don't like conditional things. Like if we look at Storm Charged in the tree, increase elemental damage if you've dealt a critical hit recently. This is great for maps. It simply put absolutely fantastic for maps, and it gives you 20% flat crit, which is great if you're not crit capped already. So this is a great way to help you get more crit cap. But I just don't know, because it's hard to test only 40% increased elemental damage, if this actually helps boss damage. Because if I deal the critical hit with the first hit of Flicker Strike snapshots everything, but the first hit would be the one that dealt the critical hit recently, right? So I don't know, like, verifiably without a fact, like, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that I'm getting 40% increased elemental damage for the rest of my Flicker. So because of the conditional nature of Flicker Strike, I don't know if this is actually happening. So instead, I like running Crushing Verdict, which is just a flat 50% increased attack damage, which is all of our damage types, not just elemental. So if you have a physical staff, then you're still getting that. So I try to avoid conditionals just because conditionals can make it so that your bossing experience is inconsistent.
Map.
Oh shit, you know what I forgot to do? I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers. I was gonna put a subscriber count on the screen. I wonder how hard that is to set up. See if I can like do it in a couple minutes, but maybe I won't do that. Maybe I'll just trust you guys to see the number and help me get there. Yeah, all the damage generally depends on the first hit of Flicker. This has good leech, good flat cold. I might use this as a recombinator. Yeah, it's really amazing, Jermaine. I appreciate it, man. Um, that's a big fat depends, Ryan. There's not like a straightforward answer. Generally speaking, I really like quarterstaves with a lot of percent elemental damage to attacks. Like if you look at my quarterstaff, it has flat fizz, but it also has that increased elemental damage with attacks. So that buffs your rings, that buffs any spells that use, like that buffs Herald of Thunder, because the Herald of Thunder converts your physical damage to lightning. Or in our case, cold, because we have cold infusion in it. So increased elemental damage with attacks effectively, when you have 100% modifier, it effectively doubles all the elemental sources in your, your rings and any conversions that you have on skills. So my recommendation with quarterstaves is the 3 suffixes that are in the middle. I'll pin it so you can see what I'm talking about. I say I always want increased elemental damage with attacks, big like 4% critical hit chance, and high level of melee skills. Those are like the big three most important. Thanks, Jermaine. I appreciate it, man. This is a cool map. I do really like Frozen Falls because it's just a cool map. I really like it. Yes, because you want to be crit cap. I mean, I still put like the critical damage bonus cores in the quarterstaff, right? Because we are crit cap. But critical damage bonus is great, but if you're not crit capped, it's not as great, right? So you definitely want to be crit capped. What the hell? Why did the delirium end already? Did I accidentally press the button? That was weird. I've never had that happen. Maybe my flicker like jumped through the map so fast that it made it so that I ended my delirium. Oh, I love me a covetous shrine. You need to focus on more cold damage then. If you're not running Embitter in Herald of Ice, or not Herald of Ice, Herald of Thunder, I would be running Embitter.
Map.
Your links, I'm not running Embitter in it right now. I just have lightning skills. I can easily swap Embitter into it, but I don't need it. Glaciation, Cold Infusion, Embitter, Ice Bite, if you don't have a perfect jeweler. And then if you do have a perfect jeweler, throw Primal Armament in there. That's the goal, man. I want to make sure that everyone is trying out builds other than Lightning Spear. After this map, I'm gonna whip out some whittlings, and we'll talk about what we're trying to craft on and why I'm trying to craft a different staff than my current. Strong box up there. and, and right there. Yeah, the ES leech just keeps us so healthy, man. I love it. And your mana, you never have mana problems. Alright, one more strong box. I just want to double check that it's on our researchers. And then we are done with the map right down there. It's a regular, so I'm glad we came and checked. Didn't get anything, but you never know. Life is like a unopened strong box. You never know what you're gonna get. Okay. Who wants to see me burn some divine orbs to maybe make good items? Holy shit! Holy shit! Let's fucking go. Oh my god. Chance your heavy belts. Fuck yes. Oh my god. Let's fucking go. Oh, let's fucking go. Holy shit. Oh god. That's a good dopamine hit. Jesus Christ. Oh, let's fucking go. Backstory for anybody who doesn't know, I've got a short on the channel where I burned through like 64 heavy belts. I've probably done 300 this league and finally hit one. So that's a feels good, man. That's a feels real fucking good, man. I thought I was just gonna hear the poof sound that I always hear. Oh, I am glowing. This is so great. Oh, yeah, streamer client. There you go, Jordan. Glad you tuned in, Euro. It's you're the lucky charm, man. Damn, dude, that's so nice. I think headhunters are still like 30 divine. Yeah, 30 divs. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. If it has 3 charm slots, I'm gonna guess that it's even more. Yeah, 32 for 3 charm slotters. And if it had better like dex and strength on it. So there you go. Getting a headhunter for 30-ish div. It's pretty nice. Um, go ahead and put that in the old character gear sets for now. See if we want to use it or if we're just going to sell it. I don't know yet. We'll decide what to do with it later. But I might divine it for 3 charms because you can divine it to get 3 charm slots and divine it up to get like higher strength and dex and max life and stuff. The dex is decently high. And I want the stun threshold higher. So we'll play with it some more later. But now I'm feeling lucky. Now it's time to whip out the staff that I want to be working on. All right, so this staff. Why are we crafting a new staff? So we're running embitter and hypothermia and high cold exposure. So if we look at my passive tree, we are running heavy frost. When I hit 97, I'm going to get thin ice. And so it's increased damage with hits against frozen enemy, and hits ignore non-negative elemental resistances of frozen enemies. So the goal, and then we also have exposed to the cosmos, which cold exposure lowers resistance by an extra 5%. And on our second weapon set, we've got a shit ton of curse magnitude. So when we're cursing a pinnacle boss, we get, and we're adding cold exposure, we get like negative 87% cold exposure. So what we want is more flat cold on our weapon than we have right now, while also still maintaining the elemental damage with attacks. So what we're going for on this is the attack speed's great, the critical hit chance is great. We want to change that gain 2 mana per enemy killed to melee skills, and then hopefully hit another good prefix like big increased physical damage or big lightning or fire damage. Either one doesn't really matter. So we'll go ahead and grab some whittles. Go ahead and just grab 4 real quick. Maybe we'll grab 5 because then, nope, we will grab 6. Okay, 6 whittlings and get some chaos out. And let's try to hit a nice suffix here. Okay, leech physical damages mana doesn't suck for our build, but we want something better. I know that we don't want to rip off attack speed, but we're going to do it anyway because we want melee skills. So attribute requirements, don't want that. Okay, got the attack speed back, but we're going to rip it off again because again, we're looking for those melee skills. reduced attribute requirements. Am I going to get attack speed again? So this is what I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead and burn through like 29 divs, trying to craft something that we want. So leech physical damages life doesn't hurt to rip off. So we'll go ahead and do that. Gain 36 life per enemy killed. That's still kind of a low modifier, so we'll probably be getting leech physical damages mana off. Now we're down to 58 div, so there you go. Here's how you craft in Path of Exile 2. I just happen to be using it a lot last map, JP, because when I flicker, I have to pay more attention, and so Falling Thunder is just a nice in between. But I like using both. Yeah, we'll keep going. Alright, if we hit 7 melee skills, this is super hype. Damn, that's pretty good lightning. What tier? 7? Okay, so tier 7 lightning, tier 9 cold, elemental damage with attacks, crit hit chance. Now we're gonna exalt and pray for 7 melee skills. Okay, 4 mana per enemy killed. Easy to rip off with a whittling. Again, we're praying for melee skills. Or critical damage bonus. That doesn't suck. So now if we compare this staff to my current staff, this is a pretty insane staff. We can probably get our divine back with it now. We put about 34 divine into it, and I bought it for a divine. So now that we have critical damage bonus, we've got big elemental damage on it and elemental damage with attacks. This guy is probably going to sell for easily 50 div. So we'll get our money back on this guy. But just to show you, I have 124,000 damage on my tooltip right now. If I slot this in, and let's give it some justice by making sure that it's whetstoneed up. And it's got some nice cores in it. We won't put Takabas in it, because I don't want to throw 2 div into it for no reason right now. We'll just throw some of these guys in it. These guys are pretty close to Takabas anyway. So elemental damage to attacks. So I've got 124. I put this guy in, 77,000. So that is how crazy important melee skills are with this build. This is an absolutely fantastic staff, but really melee skills is king with Flicker Strike. You can see Falling Thunder doesn't move nearly as much, but Flicker moves way more, because Flicker just scales so much better with melee levels than all of the other spells. Yeah, Ice Strike is great, Jordan. That slot is filler for a reason. So now if we go ahead and go to price this, let's say like 14.5 crit instead of 15. Let's say it's 110 elemental damage with attacks. We've got 208 elemental DPS, and we search. Not 100% accurate. This isn't going to be quite that expensive because that's a 430 DPS one. But I'll pull it up on the client here so you can see. This guy's got some huge elemental DPS. Let's lower the crit chance down even more. Okay, let's lower the elemental damage with attacks down even more just to see if we can find a comparable staff. And there really isn't a comparable staff here. Let's just say it's 290 overall DPS and like 150 elemental. Okay, here's 15 results. This guy's 350, but really low crit, pretty low elemental damage with attacks, and a dead prefix. This guy's 3 divines, low elemental DPS, low here, but the crit is decent for sure. Low cold though. 5 divine. This one looks pretty close to ours actually, but it's attack speed, not, so that's why the DPS is as high as it is, not flat damage, which you want flat damage instead of attack speed. This one is really close to ours, and it's 8 div, so this guy is probably underpricing his. Or maybe I'm overestimating how much the staff is going to sell for. I'd say it's pretty close to this one. And this is what I'd like to post it for. It's right around 20 div. But there you go. Just to give you an idea. So we won't get tons of our money back, but I think people will definitely still pick this up because it's got huge crit on it and decent stuff on it. So now we can move on to our next project, which is this guy right here. It also has T9 cold. It's just load is rolled really low. And low physical, high crit. So this has like top tier crit. So this is another good whittling candidate because it still also has top end elemental damage with attacks. So we'll go ahead and play with this one too. We'll do just a couple more whittlings and then get back into mapping because my budget's pretty low right now. As I get more budget, we'll do more of this, but for right now, we'll just be starting small. Okay, accuracy rating really sucks. We'll go one more set of whittles. And that's how you burn some more divines. But yeah, whittling is really that's it for that. I'll pause for now on the whittles until I get some more. But some other like key crafting stuff that you want to do in general is, I'll take this staff as an example. You want to take like really high tier things. Like crit is really high tier here. The melee skills is really high tier. And what you want to do with staffs like this is hopefully you just have 4 modifiers on them, so that you have a higher chance of hitting the mod that you want. But this is really what fracturing orbs are for. So what we really want to do with a staff like this is either hit the crit or the melee skills on this. So when I do this, I hit lightning damage, and I've kind of killed this now because now I can't take off the lightning damage with something else later. I really wanted to hit the critical hit chance or the melee skills. Because now when we go to chaos this, we have a pretty decent chance of hitting our melee skills or critical hit chance. And we just hit our critical hit chance as an example. Whereas if this was 7 melee skills, I could annul all of the mods off of it, just have a 7 melee skill staff that can never leave the staff, and then I can have the second modifier be another perfect modifier by re-rolling it with chaos. So I could just sit here and chaos this till my heart's content to get the melee skills that I want. But we didn't hit anything on this guy, so that's fine. I literally bought it just to show the example of fracturing, so that you have an idea of like, okay, this is how we want to fracture things. Why did I leave this in here? It was just the high physical damage as mana. Yeah, I don't actually think I want to save that. But we could try to fracture this guy. Try to get the fire damage because it's tier 10 fire. So we can't remove it. And we hit the cold instead, so the staff is dead. Just as an example of what that can look like sometimes. Hey, Pedro. You can swap at level 52 as soon as you unlock Flicker Strike. But my recommendation to swap to this build is right around level 70. And when you get at Zeri's Acuity and you have Collapsing Horizon Quarterstaff. Hey, JP, I'm glad that you're leveling a monk now. I'm really happy and excited to see a lot of people engaging with the build, and yeah, exactly, Mio. Sell the Headhunter, fund the craft. That's what we can do with our 28 divs that we have right now, is try to divine this up to be a little bit better. We want 3 charm slots. 3 charm slots. There we go. Decently high dexterity too, and higher stun threshold. Yeah, so we threw 5 divines into it, and we made it more expensive. 6 divines into it, but we came out because it was at 30, and now this is a better divined headhunter. And now what we're gonna do is probably irresponsible, but I don't give a shit. I want an Omen of Corruption. We are going to corrupt this headhunter. I don't even know what a good mod is on corrupting a headhunter, but hopefully we just like val it and get a good mod, and we're happy to see it. So I'm gonna click it, and then I'm gonna hide my cursor so we all don't see it. But I want to see some prage, just something good on this headhunter. I don't know what it's gonna be, but yep. All right, so we did it. Expecting praise. So sounds like Trial Master thinks it's something good. What do you think it is, Trial Master? You didn't say anything negative, so I'm gonna hope that that means that it got a positive modifier. And let's take a look. It didn't fucking do anything other than lose my fucking dexterity. Yeah, I made it less expensive. That's okay. At least it kept the 3 charm slots and good stun threshold. Was a good crit to start flicking. You can start flicking with a Collapsing Horizon, and it has the highest crit on any quarterstaff in the game. It has a minimum of 15% crit chance, maximum of above 20 if you corrupt it. But like mine, as an example that I have that I just hold on to, has 19 crit on it. When you have pinpoint critical and you have 19% crit on a Collapsing Horizon, and you follow my max roll guide that has the level 75 tree, that should crit cap you with a Collapsing Horizon that has like 18% crit chance. It is a bummer, but it's still not a bummer because it's 32 div. Like, somebody will buy that and will be happy as clams because it's 32 div. What are you going to do? I'm just happy that we got the fucking headhunter on stream. Like, that's pretty pog, regardless. I refuse to run Val Foundry. I don't like Hidden Grotto. We like Hive. Hive is a good one. Wow. And it's got some pretty juicy mods on this guy too. So this will be a fun map. You got a +7 staff. Well, hold on to the +7 staff. If it doesn't have high crit on it, the +7 is just not. The +7 on its own isn't gonna like carry it, if that makes sense. You still want to make sure that you have high crit. I've had plenty of +7 staffs that I've crafted on that didn't have crit that were just dead to me because I need to make sure that I'm maintaining crit cap.
Map.
It'd be cool if you could chance strong boxes. I'd chance every researchers to get eventers. The eventers are so much fun when you run into them. Hey Crisis, how you doing, bud? Nice to see you again. We chanced a headhunter. That's how the night's gone. And then we burned like 50 divs on Whittles, but we chanced a headhunter, so as I'm talking about it, we drop another chance orb. It's pretty pog.
Map.
Where's the last altar? It's all the way over there. If I had to guess, it's probably up north there. Yeah, 5% chaos, that is a W. Maybe that's another thing that we try to corrupt. I have a 4%, 4%. It's cold chaos right now. Corrupt it to double fives, right? I don't know if I have the balls for that right now, because that thing cost me like 80 div. What the fuck is this last ritual? And rituals back to crashing me. Lovely. I've drinking this whole smart water tonight because I've been feeling sick. Hi, Dea. Isn't it a school night? What the fuck, Dea? I mean, what the F? I wonder why ritual is the thing that makes you crash. I feel like it's not very um like GPU heavy. Awesome, man. Is there a new Fable out? I remember playing Fable on my Xbox with you, actually. Did we play Fable together? I can't remember. And all these mods are awful on this expedition. So we'll just go for monsters. Oh, I didn't see this one. All right. Hey, King X. I'm happy to hear it, man. I hope that you enjoy it once you get the monk rolling.
Yep.
I was just doing a little inventory management there. No Fable 3. Okay, gotcha. I think it's time for the standard dumper tab. Okay. Lower prices on some stuff. uh, it depends. But I try to stream 5 nights a week ish. Since I've started doing this, it's only been a few weeks, but I'm gonna keep trying to do 5 nights a week. I think I've got 80% right now. No, how much do I have? 79. So yeah, 80. And then I run 3 rarity charms that are always rolling. I always get this. Like all these are always up. So I get 15% rarity from my charms. They don't stack on top of each other, so it's not 45% rarity, it's just 15% rarity. So I'm running like 94% rarity right now. How's the microphone volume tonight, by the way? I've been messing with some settings on it to make sure that it sounds as good as possible. It probably helps that I upgraded the stream to 1080p as well. Let's go. I wanted to test something out on Arbiter. So we're going to go do that. some Arbiter gameplay. Awesome. I'm glad that it's sounding good. They don't trigger together, Mio. As you can see, 0 out of 1, 1 out of 1, 1 out of 1, so they trigger each separately. Just like a stone charm if you get stunned, if you have 3, and all that fun stuff. Too late. Fourth edict already burns for your world. Come on. Really? Wow. Is that even good? It's interesting. The crit chance is good. Accuracy shading probably not bad for an Amazon that would want to use that. That's not good. Spirit Elemental Resist attributes is very good on a Warrior Invictus. And that's not good. Alright, let's grab that focus. And I think that's all I wanted to grab. I think I will grab this, though. Alright. Physical. Okay. Slam, slam, slam. Okay. Can we get big triple res? Okay, +1 to spell skills. That's really good. Alright, what is this going for? You, sir, are going for 3 div. Hopefully you sell and pay for the ticket to Arbiter. I don't know if I muted in time before I blew your ears off. I have, Steve. I like the health flask that I have now, and I'll explain my reasoning. So my reasoning. Where am I fucking? Hold on. Sorry. Uh-huh. The locks demand attention. I don't think this is good, but we will put the cores in it just to verify. Let's just say it's like 300 accuracy or something. And we don't care about the leech. We just want that. We'll put it up for 10 chaos, see if it sells. This one. Grenade skills. We'll do the same thing. Put the cores in it. See if it's worth a couple chaos. $481. Grenade skills, fire additional projectile. And we will toss that up for 10 chaos. And then this guy, I don't know. 490-ish is what we want to be at. I don't think this is getting up to 490, but we will see. Yeah, 332. We'll toss it up for 10 chaos as well. A few crossbows. All right, here's the real test of truth. Okay, that works. That's good for me. I like it. I like it a lot. But that's not exciting. We want 5. We want 5 sockets. Do I try to divine this up before I get 5 sockets in it? I think you definitely want 10 spirit. Not 6. Not 9. Not 7. Not 9. Not 8. Not 9. Not 8. Not 8. 10. Okay, great. Okay. Now, it's qualityed up. It's time. Now we pray to RNGesus for a 5th socket and sell this thing for like 100 divine. Please. Please, 5th socket. Damn. I don't want the max life showing. That's okay. I guess. Gotta shoot for the moon, you know? Because if this got a 5th socket, let's say it just had 5, we would be sitting pretty with 57 divine arenos. So that's what we were going for. was this? Instead, we get 1/10 of that. I could have sold it for like probably 15 or 20 uncorrupted. But you live and you learn. As one does. That does feel bad, Joey. I'm sorry, brother. I burned through a lot of divs tonight, too. Trying to entertain you. Oh. Come on, man. Buy my headhunter. I think it's time to go make some money. Additional strong box, that's good. Yeah, no, sorry, Steve. You didn't. I just forgot. The Olroth Resolve has 75 charges, and you can't increase the charges on it, and it uses 23. So you can use it 3 times, and I think it's around 1100 health restored. But I can only use it 3 times. Whereas this flask, I can use it 12 times, and it's 550 life restored. So it's like exactly half as much as Olroth's, but I can use it like 4 times as much as I can use Olroth's. So I just feel like this has been better for me than Olroth says. And Olroth is also like 8 or 10 div, so a little bit of savings.